Joining us now is Democratic Representative Raja Krishnamoorthi of Illinois. He is a member of the House Intelligence Committee and the Oversight Committee. Representative, I wonder if you can answer the question that this anonymous Republican posed. Why can the head of the Department of Defense engage in this conduct, but a rank-and-file officer can't?
It's called the double standard, Simone, and that's why. That's what's going on here. And actually, the morning that this article came out, I actually got a text from a mom of a sailor who received a bulletin that was sent to the entire military saying, don't disclose any type of classified or sensitive information on Signal because of known vulnerabilities in that particular messaging platform. She said to me, look, how could it be that if my son were to do what Pete Hegseth did, he would be court-martialed or worse, and yet Hegseth is getting off scot-free. And I think that is the type of sentiment that a lot of people feel right now. And I think that's why, I just saw polling that 60% of Republicans feel that this particular Signal gate is a serious security lapse.
Representative, I watched the hearing as the members of the national security community came before your committee the other day, and I was really struck by the gaslighting. I truly was. And this is more than just about one Signal chat, one text message, right, adding one journalist. This is truly about the entire machinery of our national security apparatus, about the care or the lack thereof that members of this particular administration take in dealing with some of the most sensitive information that could literally be the difference between life and death for folks. I know you had very pointed questions in that hearing. I'm wondering what questions are still unanswered at this moment.
Well, look, I think that you're absolutely right. The fact that they would deny that this was classified information that Pete Hegseth shared on this group chat when the Trump administration's very own executive order, it's called 13526, says that any information about weapon systems, military plans or operations is by default classified information, is all you need to know about the gaslighting that they were engaged in. But I think that right now we're in a dangerous moment because we don't know how many other Signal chats are going on about other sensitive topics. We don't know whether our adversaries have gotten that information and taken advantage of it against us, and what has the damage done? So that's why I'm glad. I was heartened to see that Senator Roger Wicker called for a full investigation. And I think that we need to know kind of the full extent of the use of these different messaging apps, including Signal, but for that matter, WhatsApp or any other messaging platform. And then finally, I would just say that in the meantime, Hegseth must resign. He must go. He must either be terminated or he has to resign immediately, because he's, quite frankly, endangering our national security.
It's not lost on me that the Inspector General at the Department of Defense, which the senator is calling on the Inspector General to investigate, Donald Trump fired the Inspector General. So actually the Inspector General currently there is acting. Right. At least one Republican, anonymous Republican, wants Hegseth to resign. Given the state of the inspector generals in the administration, I'm just wondering, is Congress going to do more? Are there quiet, anonymous, bipartisan conversations currently happening with your Republican colleagues, at least on the Intel Committee?
I haven't yet heard them say this, but I am hearing a lot of chatter from my Republican colleagues that, this is, as Don Bacon openly said, my Republican colleague from Nebraska said, this is unconscionable. And it's not the time to blame the reporter who merely is conveying the fact of this security lapse, but to really fix what needs to be fixed. And that is to avoid the security lapse in the first place. Simone, you know this better than anyone else, having been in the White House. When you have these types of conversations, you do it in secure spaces, or you do it through secure communications, whether it's video or audio. You don't do it on a messaging app, such as Signal. And certainly you don't do it in a way that could advantage our adversaries. In this case, the Houthis, if they had known about this strike hours before it happened, and then they trained their air defenses on those F-18s as they were approaching Yemen, those pilots would absolutely be in jeopardy.
Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi, thank you very much for your time tonight and your insight.